made a sale. Well,
Oh,
yeah, just like feel really good. The energy has shifted. I've told this to Tiff. I've told this and like chatted to Ali about this, Erin. Like I don't know. I feel like something's changed. I don't know if it was just that Christmas was really good for me in the sense that, Joel's been home. He's been home for almost 3.5 weeks, which is insane. But also that Christmas wasn't rushed. We did a lot of things, but we spread it out this year. So it just felt so much better. So
mhm.
then leading into the new year, it just felt, I don't know, like nothing was like, a break. Yeah.
Extra hands. So good.
Yeah.
That's
So
awesome,
that's
Tess.
me.
Good work, babe. That's awesome. Does anyone else want to share their little busy win for the week? Because if no one wants to go, I'll go. Not that I'm like on the edge of my seat, but I have been speaking to, so I invested in a business coach this week, which is really awesome. I've also actually doing an ad strategy that my beautiful friend Rach shared with me, which I'm actually testing and trialing before I drop in and let you know what I'm actually, if it is something that does work for me. But technically, I've created an ad and I have spent a shitload of money on it for 24 hours. And by shitload, I mean hundreds of dollars. And then I'm turning it
Progress.
off in 24 hours just to see how it goes. So I'm definitely just going to trial that, see, let you know it go, let you guys know how it goes once I've done that. But you were just talking to Mahela today about the same strategy.
Yeah, about the exact same strategy. I was doing a little deep dive to try and figure out what this incredible woman is doing so I
Mm-hmm.
can share it with everyone and also do it myself. And I've been able to learn what she does. And she's an actual genius. It's like, it's so simple, but it's just so smart. So, yeah, doing some recon so I can share with everyone. But that's basically the premise of why it works. Obviously, her brand and her content, everything's amazing. Like the entire funnel is amazing, but how she's actually capturing leads is just really smart. So
Yeah, yeah, I
watch.
agree. She's very, very savvy, isn't she? Yeah. All right. Well, Megs is here, and I haven't introduced her. I'm sure you all know her. She is a vibe. But I did want to just quickly say a few things because I don't know if you guys know, but we started the same week in a Enagic and we met at Celebrate pretty much 2 weeks after that. And she's just a beautiful, down to earth human and has got so much success in this business because of her authenticity. And she shows up, she's consistent, and she's just someone that I love very much and we can learn so much from. So without further ado, I'm going to invite Megs on so she can run us through this beautiful training and share our wisdom or her wisdom with us.
Beautiful. I'm like, it's so, I know I came on the talk call the other day, but my reception was so bad. And honestly, like everything kind that someone says to me at the moment, I'm like nearly in tears. Like, this is how much this run's like really hit home and hit my heart. And it's been really beautiful. So I'm really excited to be here in this energy. It's a very vulnerable, raw energy that I'm in at the moment. So, yeah, I expect the tears tonight, I'm assuming. But something that's really come through for me as I've been, I guess, sharing this run and really sharing what's here for me and sharing the energy behind everything, it's a little bit different to like, I guess, what, this like high vibrational, like 6A, like closing 20 sales in a day. It wasn't actually, I don't want to use the word hard, but it just was actually so easeful. And I think that's why it brings me to the tears, because my whole belief pattern around being successful and running my salon, and it was always in this masculine energy of like I had to work really hard. I really had to hustle. I was always this soul rider. Like I was always, I can do everything on my own, right? And so this year, I've been really navigating energetically behind the scenes why I self-sabotage support and why I don't really like receiving. And this is, it's really big to go these places and it's really big to do this work. And I guess this is the beauty of like coming onto a team call, because I'm actually not even ready to share this online yet, because you can hear the activation in my voice as I speak about it. So it's not, whenever I share something online, I don't share it from an activated place. I share it from a complete space of where I've moved and integrated it. And I'm almost there with the integration of it. But I think just with all the love that I'm receiving in terms of like the support I had on this run, it's just still there. And it's like, you know, I'm just still shifting it. And I wanted to open with this because what I've worked out this year through going into the depths of, you know, doing some plant medicine and going deeper into like my old patterns and my child wounds and things myself, I've actually really shed back some really deep layers, which I think is why it's transpired for me this way, because I keep leaning in every single month to the energy work. Like I never ever miss a month of not cleaning my energy. And it's kind of like, you know, going to the dentist or cleaning your car, or you know, filling up your car with petrol. Like for me, that's how important energy work is. And it's just high on my priority list. And you know, for me, I would actually invest in energy work before I invest in an ad. That's just personally, that's how much I value it. And through this year, I actually went as deep as really thinking and understanding and knowing why I was so fearful of sales and why I never really even sold shampoo in my hairdressing salon. That's how much this sales thing and money stuff, like I had to work through. And when I got really real with it, my whole magical script changed, my whole everything changed. And I want to share this with you because I actually think it's what's really catapulted everything forward for me. Because I got really real with like what it was that I actually really wanted and why I was really here. And it's changed this year. And it's no longer the materialistic things. And it's no longer got, you know, every dream beachfront house in my magical script like I used to have. And, you know, having the Defender and the Range Rover and all the cars. And yes, while that's still in parts of it because I do like these materialistic things, it's not now at the forefront. I went deeper into what I'm actually doing here, and I got really real with what that was. And I also went into the sales part and what the stories were and the generational patterns were for me. And what I uncovered was that my mum was a single mum of two little girls and she never had any money. So I didn't want to share any hair products with people because I was under the impression and the belief that no women had money. Not any woman would have money to buy that. And I didn't want to pressure them and make them feel less than. So being in this business has really activated that piece of me to lean into, because if I don't, then how on earth am I going to sell an $18,500 product? And I think that's why really early on in my business, I was really nudged by spirit to get in and do my own calls because there was medicine there for me. But I didn't really notice the depths of it until I kept leaning into the energy work and it kept showing and presenting for me. And what I want to take you to is like when we do energy work, it's important obviously to lay and receive. And it's also just as important to allow your intuition to drop in what you need. And when I really get real with what my intuition drops in and I give myself some space and time to integrate, like this word integrate, I want you to take this away. It's so important. Without the integration, you don't get the medicine. And this year I figured out that I was actually holding that in some capacity and playing small and really like holding back, of calling people forward, of being able to really be the leader that I know I need to be when I'm 6A2, right? And I could have closed 6A2 6 months ago. Like this has almost been done for a very long time. And there was something energetically holding me back, not sales. And so instead of leaning into creating more ads and doing more and being more and everything, I still did the do. I was doing webinars. You've seen I ran webinar series with Steph this year. And like I was still doing quite a lot in terms of showing up because I never wanted my audience to not know I wasn't there. But I also knew deep down that nothing was going to close unless I opened space and capacity around money, around sales, around really shifting this generational stuff that was coming through. And when I say I've shifted it, like I've been purging this year, like it's been really deep. And it's been really beautiful too. And I realized that I've really put this armor and protection on for my mom as well, to be like, this is her story and I've got to protect her. And when I was a child saying like, I don't want a present for my birthday, mom, because it was close to Christmas. And I was like, I don't need anything. What child doesn't want a present? Like, let's be honest. Of course I wanted a present, but I had learned to be like, I don't want her to feel less than or feel like she's not giving me enough. So this is what I'll adapt to. And when I got real with that, I had to actually give my inner child some space to actually grieve how much I gave up and how much I didn't ask for and how much I didn't activate and use my voice and speak up for what I wanted. And it's one of the biggest things that's come up for me this year, that I haven't been able to communicate my wants, needs, and desires. And through this work and through this journey, it's brought up a lot of patterns and play outs in even my friendships and, you know, all these kind of things. And it's been really deep work. And it's also been really beautiful work. But what I want to open this whole like energetics container around is that I have so many layers that I shift through, and you just may not see it because it's personal, because it's, you know, all of these vulnerable moments that I have to shift through. And then also there's this beautiful part of taking courageous action and stepping into the vulnerability, and they're all on the same path. And when you lean in and do this, you really get yourself in the arena, because nobody nobody without courage and vulnerability would get in an arena, would get in with the bull, like no one would. And so all of you have chosen to step into the arena and be here, but some people are still sitting behind the gate and like haven't found the courage and the vulnerability yet to actually push themselves in there and be like, fuck, this is scary. And I see so many people sitting on the sidelines and not actually willing to be like, what's here for me? And what do I need to unpack? And if you do choose to do this work with whoever you decide, or like if you choose to do it on your own, this embodiment practice or breath work, you can even look this stuff up on YouTube and gift yourself this space. It doesn't have to necessarily even be a coach, but whoever you choose to do it with, or yourself, it doesn't matter. What I want to bring to you if you don't do the integration. Anyone can hold space for you. I can do this beautiful Reiki that I'm going to perform, bring tonight, and gift you this space to be held. But there's also this beautiful piece of you taking ownership for energy work is a space that we hold and we shift and we align your chakras and make sure that you're in full alignment. However, it's not a magic wand. It doesn't just poof and everything goes and you're like this magical unicorn that all of a sudden draws everything in. It creates a space for you to allow yourself to drop in deeper to your own intuition and to really heal yourself on this level. You're just being held in a container, in a space. And so this is why I say you actually can do this on your own. And sometimes in the beginning you can't because you don't have the tools, and that's where a coach comes in handy. But once you have these tools, you get to use these daily. And it's probably why that I have so much success in this realm, because I obviously have always loved energy work, and it stems back to when I was 5. I've been seeing a kinesiologist since I was 5. That's how many things I've had to shed. So I've been in the space for quite some time. And, it's like I've just got a really big toolbox now that I use and support myself every day. And so when you get your toolbox together, you actually get to be your own healer and you get to be your own space holder. And you'll see that even in Tiff and how she's evolved this year. And even Lucy, like I've watched her journey as well. Like it's really beautiful when you lean in and you do these things, and then you start to actually be able to hold this space for yourself, because that's the real medicine, is when you can actually, rather than point the finger outwards, is actually turn the finger inwards and be like, what's here for me and what do I need to uncover? And, my 6A2 run on the 31st of December, I had 20 sales to close, right? And in that moment, that I was about to go into this cacao ceremony, I was on the phone to Caitlin, who's a healer in my team, and we quite often talk. And she brought this really beautiful perspective to me. And it wasn't something that I could see. And this is the beauty of always being open to receiving the medicine that you need, even if you do embodiment, you are an embodiment coach, or you are a healer, or you are whatever you are, you always need to be open. And I had a really open heart, and she said, can I give you a reflection? And she gave me a different perspective to take into this cacao ceremony. And I said, I actually really like that. And it was this whole piece of me feeling safe enough to rise and be at the level I'm at, because I actually really don't like being in the spotlight. And it brings up quite a lot for me. You can hear my throat chakra blocking as I talk this. And I'd already, I'd already said to my team before gala, I was like, I'm not going to be on stage. I had no idea I was getting top enroller. I had no idea I was getting all these awards, right? So for me, like, I was sitting at that table, I was like bum on seat for the night, and I hadn't gone I just didn't know. And so I wasn't also prepared for what that was going to feel like. And it was actually really overwhelming for me in my body. And the next day was my birthday, and I literally cried most of the day, and I felt really out of sorts. And, I had to sit with that when I got home from gala. I was like, wow, like, why am I so nervous to be in this? Like, and this was the missing piece for me to close 6A2, because realistically it's been there the whole year of me not wanting to be too big, of not wanting to, I don't want to always be in the spotlight. And it's because when I was younger, if I was in the spotlight, women didn't love me. And do you see how this is my own stories playing out? No one said this to me. No one's done anything to me. This is me. Like, you point the finger at you. And I was like, fuck, this is really big. Like, and if I can't be big, then I can't close this. I can't hold my team if I'm not willing to actually be seen, if I'm not willing to be celebrated, if I'm not willing to go 6A2 and receive these, monthly and quarterly bonuses, and I don't feel worthy because, like, I want other people to go before me. And there was this whole, sister wounds and things and stuff. And I was like, fuck, this is huge. And I went to this cacao ceremony, and I really helped myself feel safe in my body that everyone's still going to love me, and that every person that I love is still going to love me, because it actually wasn't the 33-year-old version of me. It was this, 13-year-old girl that used to get attention from boys and then the girls didn't like them. It was, you've got to go back to what the problem was. And, you know, like getting called a slut or getting called when I hadn't even slept with anyone, you know, like, and I'm just being really real with the things that were happening and the bullying that was happening to me because someone would just find me attractive and this piece. And sometimes like you can be the one getting bullied because, you know, you might get the other end of like feeling like that you're not pretty. And so, but no one understands sometimes that when you get bullied the other way around, it still hurts. And so I had to really sit with what was there and why I didn't want to be seen. And in that cacao ceremony, because of this reflection I got, no shitting you, my phone was in the pigeonhole. I didn't even have it. I was in this cacao ceremony for 3 hours on the 31st of December. I didn't do any hustling, running around, right? I came out of the cacao ceremony. I went down and got a drink and I sat and I hadn't even looked at my phone. And when I did open my phone, I had Doc Hub notifications and 3 quads that I'd been in conversations with in November and December had actually done the paperwork and done their transfer, sent me over their license front and back, literally paperwork ready to go, didn't have to ask for one more thing, and was just like, so sorry, I haven't been in here. I've had a really crazy month with Christmas and kids and everything. I hope all this lands and that we can put it through because they wanted the incentive that was running, you know, the quad sale thing. And I was like, what the hell? And this was like 12:30 on the 31st of December, and I had to do 4 quads. And so I had a quinta and 2 quads come through in paperwork. And I was like, fuck, I only actually need one more quad and I'm 6A2. And I was like, oh, it's done next week. And still, after the cacao ceremony, it hadn't dropped in that I was like, this could actually be done this afternoon. I didn't have that belief that I had last year that it was like done, and I was making it happen. It wasn't that way. And but I'd shifted a lot in the cacao ceremony. I'd really gone in and really set some deep intentions, and I'd really left that room feeling quite in a beautiful vibration. I was like, I can do this. Like, I've got this. And one of my team messaged me and said, you know, that she was just talking to me about something random. And then I said, I hope you're ready to go next month, sister. I've got to close one more quad to get to 6A2, and I'm going to have to do 10 points in the month. And I said, let me know if you've got any leads that I can support you with. And, you know, just reaching out like I usually would anyway to support. And they all know that I'm, you know, running for 6A2. And she was like, oh, I actually do know someone. I'll send you through the email. We're ready to go tonight. It's my husband. And I was like, what? I actually thought they were drunk because this was like now 6:30 at night by the time we were talking. And I was like, oh, I can't close it today, right? And she was like, yeah, send me over the paperwork. We're ready to go. And I'm like, are you serious? Like, and I said, no, we'll just do it next week. You guys are drinking. Like, I don't want to, this is no. And she's like, honestly, we're not drunk. We've had a couple and we really want to support you in this. And again, I was back in full receival mode, right? It's no surprise. I was back in my medicine of like this year of like being able to be seen and being loved on and still being loved by women, even if I was big. And I'm like, fuck, this energy work and like what we actually have to shift, it all becomes a part of our journey. Things can't close until we deal with it. And I was like, it's even closing in the way that I feel uncomfortable, but I have to receive this. Like I have to sit in this. And it was really, really crazy because I was like, okay, well, that's done. But now I've got to activate my 6A lane. And I had no sale lined up. I was like, oh God, I've already got 3 K8s and 2 Anespers. And like it was, I've got 2M, I've got all the things. I don't need another product. And I was like, I'm gonna have to buy like another Anespa just to activate this lane. It's like 7 o'clock at night. Who the hell am I going to reach out to get a sale? Anyway, one of the girls in my team called me and she's like, hey babe, if I buy another Anespa, I really want one for my bathroom, blah, blah, blah. And how would that look and whatever. And I said, well, actually, babe, I just went 6A2. So I just want to like tell you that. So that's exciting. I'm just figuring out what I need to buy. And I said to her, I'm happy to buy it in my lane and give you my commissions back and you can have that one. And she goes, oh, I don't want your commissions. I'll just put it in your lane. Like, I want to help you. Let me put my Anespa in your lane. I don't want your commissions back. I really want you to win. Again, person actually wants me to win and still wants to love me, even though she's 3A and wants to put her Anespa in my 6A lane when I'm 6A2. Like, this is so uncomfortable. And there was so much medicine in that for me. And, you know, in this moment, I was like, wow, this whole year is like doing full circles for me. And this is actually closed with ease and flow. I did not hustle. I was with my kids. I was at a cacao ceremony and this was actually meant to be. And I was meant to be in receival. And I wasn't meant to get this award on stage. I was actually meant to be nurtured by my family. And we went away and it was just, you know, and this is why I'm still crying, because it's just a really beautiful way. And it just is like, because I keep leaning into this energy work and I keep integrating and I keep leaning into what's there for me. And it keeps serving me, and it keeps like, allowing me to really go into this next level of me. And I am going to put a sail back into my beautiful girl's lane, so please rest assured I'm going to give that sail back to her. And yeah, and for me it was like this beautiful receival moment for me in that run. And so I just wanted to edify that, lean into the work and also show up with full heart from day dot, and you just never know how you'll be repaid and how much love you'll get back just by literally being you. And it will also, like, always go back to the other person as well. And it's just really interesting how this medicine and the energy work, and what you keep leaning into will actually probably be what supports you closing out every level. And every level will bring something new for you to deal with. Like I'm ready to take on 2025 and what comes my way. Like, it's never going to stop. And then the other thing too, of knowing that my business is set up for that long-term strategy of like, cool, like I've really received in 6A2 and I've really celebrated, but 6A2-3 also feels really done for me because of, the efforts that I've put in and how much support I give to my team and how much I've lent in and learned the comp plan. And I've really learned how to close those DBS calls and just keep leaning in. Like, I learned how to close those calls when I was 3A, and I kept practicing and I kept practicing and I kept leaning in, and I got really good at them. And now I don't get nervous to do a call. But in the beginning, of course I did. Like, I had notes there. I hated doing them on Zoom because I was reading my notes, and it's a lot. Like, you're like, fuck, I don't want to fuck this up for anyone. So you're like really nervous. But what I did was I was like, sorry, my camera's not actually working today. I hope this is okay that my screen's not on. You can keep yours off, but I just want to be on Zoom so I can share my screen with you, blah, blah, blah. Really nervous back here, but just going to have no screen on because I'm reading notes here actually of what I need to ask you. But like, you've got to do what you've got to do to learn, and just keep leaning in and doing that, because it'll really repay you when you keep getting in the arena, keep getting the courageous, vulnerable. This is me, courageous and vulnerable the whole time. And I really feel like I've been in the arena from the beginning, like really throwing myself in there and just being shit scared doing it. So I haven't, been a unicorn. I've just been really scared and still doing the thing, and keep shedding the layers and keep leaning into the things that your intuition guides you to, so that you can, get yourself to where you want to be. Does anyone have any questions or anything that they'd love me to answer before we kind of go into energy work and stuff? I kind of thought I'd do a little bit of both tonight, just so you can kind of understand the power of how I use energy work as well, because it's nice for someone to come on and I guess do a Reiki, but sometimes we can just feel sleepy and feel really light, and it will do that. But there's also this beautiful way that you can use this a bit deeper and really like trust your own intuition to go a bit deeper into what's here for you and what you need to work through to close January really big. Like, there's such an incredible incentive. There's no reason that you guys can't close 20 sales in a day. Like, we've got an incredible system, and you don't have to close your own calls. It's just about, coming from your heart and shedding these things and opening capacity, like maybe potentially opening capacity to hold your team, not even in a leadership way, but just in a way of like, I've got you and I've got belief in you, because that's really all you'd need to do it prior to 6A2, really. Like, you just got to hold space and believe in people. And that's all I've ever done, is just held space and believe in people and closed calls when they're ready. So don't feel like you have to be a leader. You just need to be a good human, and you all are.
I'll ask a question that I feel like will serve everyone. I would love to know what you would say, or like what tips you would give if you had to focus on one thing to really like nurture your energy every single day. Like, is it a ritual, is it a practice? Like, what do you feel would be most supportive for everyone to take away to like actually implement into their lives that's going to support their being and their business?
Mm. Okay. One thing. Oh, okay, tricky. I think honestly, like, I think, to be honest, the biggest thing for me energetically, if it's not right, is nurturing the love around me, to be honest. So if I don't feel like me and my partner are really connected, or me and my children are really connected and they feel loved, I actually really genuinely don't show up in the right vibration, because it's what I'm doing it for. So first and foremost, if my family unit doesn't feel good and I haven't had sex with my partner and I'm neglecting my children, or I'm not neglecting, but you know what I mean, like spending too much time on my phone and not enough time with them and all of these things, it doesn't feel good in my body to be like receiving abundance, because the reason why I'm receiving abundance is to create a beautiful life for us. So that's probably first and foremost, energetically making sure that my family unit is feeling really nurtured, and that I feel nurtured as a woman, like, you know, in even receiving in the bedroom. Like, this is a lot for everyone, but it's actually my truth, you know. Like, I really think that pleasure is a really big part of, for a woman, it's like where we create from, like our pleasure zone. And like if we're not pleasured and we're not feeling activated, and we're not, even if it's self pleasure, but you know, some sort of pleasure, otherwise we're always in this masculine of like do, and that doesn't feel right for me. So that's something that I always prioritize. And probably one of the most easiest things that I really do for myself is putting a protection bubble around me and really setting an intention for the day. And then also at the end of the day, releasing that in the shower and being grateful, finding gratitude for what my day brought, and just gifting myself even 1 minute in that, of like just finding gratitude, because what you go to bed with at night is also what you cultivate more of. So if you're going to bed thinking, oh, I didn't close any sales and like I'm no good and this is really shit and not good with my husband and all these things, you're also cultivating more of that over your sleep. So I know that's two, but I feel like they're one. I couldn't choose, but they're like, yeah, protection bubble so that you can be in your own vibration. Your family unit, really, really important for me. And yeah, just like gratitude and cleansing off whatever happened for the day, and trusting that it's all medicine, and that even if something happens that was really hard, because I have it quite a lot, you know, like I have hard things, probably weekly, I have something hard come up. And sometimes I'm just like, oh, I'm just going to find gratitude for that, because I know on the other side of this, there's a whole new expanded Megs. And this is really exciting. Feels edgy, and I hate being in it at this present moment, but I'm grateful for the medicine that it's going to bring. And I'm going to bed in gratitude for the lessons that are about to come, not in, you know, a scared mindset of like, oh, why is this presenting, you know. Positivity will always overtake that negative energy as well. I hope that's helpful. Go and be with your person that you choose in life, or if you don't have a person, be that person for yourself. So important, like so important to have joy in your life, because as well, like as you're growing this business, it's also like there's no pleasure on your way. It's like these celebrations won't feel good, you know, like 6A2 celebration with my family and being off grid and being in the Daintree and, you know, just being fully connected and in nature. That wouldn't have felt good if we weren't in a good place prior to that, you know. And like on that day of like really going 6A2 and having to put that paperwork through on New Year's Eve at 7 o'clock, you know, if I didn't have a beautiful relationship with my partner, he could be thinking, oh, fuck, Megs, you and your magic business. But he was like, yes, babe, so good. Like, I'm so proud of you. I'm going to make you a drink. You finished closing. You finished doing that. Can I do anything? Like, I'm so proud of you. And then he kept coming in the room while I'm still sending off paperwork and making sure everything's perfect. And he's like, fuck, I'm proud of you, babe. Are you nearly done though? Because I really love some of your attention, you know? And I was like, I'm coming. I'm just trying to make sure everything's like, I couldn't call office. And yeah, it's just like cultivate happiness before you get to -3. Like cultivate that beautiful happiness in your life, because it's what will continue to show you up. Because if things don't feel good behind the scenes, sometimes you don't even feel like showing up, because you don't even know that you want to be with your partner anymore, because you're just so disconnected from all the things going on in life. So just don't lose sight of why you're doing this. Energetically, make sure you protect what you really want through the process of growing this, because there is a lot to do in this growth journey. Like it's, you know, I don't think half of us realize what we're essentially signing up for, this huge self-development course, you know. It's like this beautiful, and it's so necessary. And I actually think every single person in this world needs this business, not for the water, not for the money. Like it's actually so much more. But sometimes we're a bit unaware of like what we're about to journey on. And yeah, I'm just witnessing you in like that can feel really hard, and it's okay for it to feel really hard, and it's okay to feel, you know, I feel it too, you know, I still feel it, and I just have a few tools in my belt to support me in that. And some days the tools work better than others, especially if you've got your period. Like some days those tools aren't really working, I'm just crying, but that's okay. Like it's more emotions coming through, and you just keep energetically cleansing yourself. And even things like, you know, even if you don't do Reiki and you're feeling like you can't show up and do a face to camera because you feel really blocked. You can even just like, you can shift energy, right? Like I'm in tune with Reiki, but like energy is energy. You can all shift it. And if you just like set an intention to be like, I'm clearing my throat chakra and like moving what's here for me, I can feel this huge block. If you actually just like shifted it and just like gave yourself some love and was like, I love you, I'm so proud of you. And you just actually gifted yourself some love rather than like beat yourself up. That's it, just energetics, right? Like it's just the way you feel. And so you can actually do these practices yourself, even if you're not in tune and you know, you don't think you're this magic person. The more you do that, the more that spirit actually drops through you and you can actually do healings yourself. That's, you know, that's what Reiki is. We all have the power of doing Reiki, of doing embodiment work, all of these things, because the more that we actually embody it ourselves, the more we become that. So trust and use and guide and use your hands to find pleasure, use your hands to shift energies and really trust that it might seem crazy in the beginning, but it actually is really beautiful and a beautiful way. Or hand on heart, hand on belly, and that is just like really nurturing usually where we hold a lot is in our sacral and in our heart space, because sacral is all friendships and relationships and things, and heart space is really like childhood, like things that we really carry. Which is why when we do breath work and things, we're always like hand on heart, hand on belly, because it's usually what we're shifting. So yeah, just like using you, like you are the power, you know, like as much as I'm going to hold this space tonight, it's like you literally, I can't hold a space if someone's not willing to also hold the space for themselves and go there. And the more that you're willing to lean in and the more that you're coachable and open to coach yourself through it, the more layers you'll shed. And that's what George has always said, who I work with shamanically. She's like, I've never seen someone integrate so much like you. And I'm like, yeah, because it's like the power. She's like, you have such huge transformations because you're so okay to be in the crap. And she knows everything that I've gone through. And she's like, you just keep leaning in. And I'm like, yeah, like I just feel like I'm right in the arena. Shit scared. Like the bull's running at me like daily. And I'm just like, yep, like here I am. Like that's kind of what you've got to, and you've just got to sit in it and you've just got to be like, oh, this is a lot. And yeah, when you start to do it daily and you're just like, okay, a bull's coming at me again. So I'm just gonna stand here. Like it's kind of that feeling. And you just have to be like, I've got this. Like I've actually got this. And that's the mindset piece of like the mind and the energetics together is really powerful. Because you continue to actually hold yourself in holding yourself, of being like, I'm solid, I've got this, I'm not going anywhere, I'm courageous, I'm vulnerable, and I'm willing to keep leaning in. I don't know if any of you have seen actually on my stories yesterday, I think I haven't even been on my stories today. Rosie's messaged me to check if I'm dead because I'm always on my story. She's like, are you okay, babe? I'm like, yeah, babe, I'm just on calls and helping people. And she's like, okay, as long as you're okay. I'm like, no, I'm good. But yeah, this is the power of being consistent, right? People actually think something's wrong when you're not on. And that's good, right? This is your brand. People know that they're like, Meg's always updates us on what's happening in Cairns, and I didn't today. So everyone's stay tuned for tomorrow. But the story here was Brené Brown has brought out a Netflix show. Have you guys watched it? Yeah, Lucy's like, yeah, it's a really good one. What's it called, Luce? Remind me. It's something.
I don't actually remember.
I'm going to look it up, but
yeah.
It is, drum roll, please. The Call to Courage. If you would like a bit of a takeaway from tonight, The Call to Courage from Brené Brown, really good watch. And it is about courage and vulnerability. And I was like listening to this the other night and I was like, fuck, that is actually what I've done. And so you might take some beautiful key takeaways from her chat. And it's really a good one to watch with your partner too, because it starts to actually really go into the masculine and the feminine and things as well. And she's amazing. So go and watch that if you want a bit more homework. But it really does take that. It's courageous action and vulnerability. And it's kind of funny as well. The watch is kind of funny. So that is a bit of a takeaway. But yeah, like energy work, guys, it's so powerful. Embodiment work, so powerful. Being real from your heart, so powerful. Like you can run all the ads, but energetically people can feel things. And I think that's the power of like whether things close or not, because even for me, like I can call in all the leads, but energy doesn't lie. And I have been closing sales, like obviously I still close sales, but I could have closed 26 months ago. Like why did I close 20 on the 31st of December? Because I'd done enough work to hold and open it. You know, I could have done it at least a few days earlier and I wouldn't have been 7 o'clock, or I could have at least called Chris, but like I had no support, right? And it was just this whole thing of actually trusting. I actually just had to trust. I actually don't have a lot of trust in the body naturally. So that was like trust that this is just all done. I even said to Rosie, should I hold all these cells and just put them through tomorrow? She's like, no, babe, put them all through. I was like, fuck, if anything goes wrong, like or something's missing. And she's like, nah, put them all through. It's fine. And I was like, okay. And then like when I had to wait 2 days for the Enagic office to open, so I had to just be in full trust that it was all done. Called Chris and he's like, yeah, all is done, but you have to make sure everything goes through. Like, so there can't be any paperwork problems. And I was like, oh my God. So, you know, all these things that I had to go through, it's all the energy and it's all things that I had to learn and it's all things I had to integrate. So just really lean into like potentially what might come through for you tonight in tonight's session of like, what's here for me, what's deeper, like, you know, is the heart space like doing something, you know, a bit, you'll feel it, you know, like you'll just feel like, oh, I just feel like I'm comfortable in my heart, or you know, my belly feels like it's tossing and turning, my sacral's going off a little bit, like, oh, is something there? Like if I'd actually just allow it to drop in and don't, you know, go into like thinking of what it might be. Allow your body to tell you. And if it doesn't, trust that tonight you're not meant to get that. You're meant to lay. If you fall asleep, that's okay too. It's not putting pressure on it, but it's just allowing you to be open that you are a part of the healing. You are a part of this. And potentially what comes through for you is what you need to uncover, what you need to unlock, like financial things or belief and courage and vulnerability and how that makes you feel. And something that I've said tonight might have activated something, may have brought something up for you. And yeah, you can just kind of like delve into that a little bit and allow yourself and gift yourself this space to receive as I just work some medicine in the background. And yeah, I'm just going to invite you guys, if everyone's not feeling like they've got anything else, is everyone feeling complete? Yeah.
I actually have one more thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know we want to get into the Reiki, but I just feel called to ask this because it is a conversation that I do have a lot with everyone, and it's been a huge part of my journey. Is if you were to give like one piece of advice in terms of like how to start to cultivate self-trust and not need constant validation, what would you say is a place that you would start? Like, would it just be like a self-reminder when it comes up? Like, how would you describe to somebody to start to lean into self-trust?
Yeah, really good question. I feel that for me, always finding self-trust is finding joy first. So I really love music. Like I really love music. And so for me, every single day I make sure that I put music on. And I usually do this in front of a mirror because I like to have fun and a bit playful. And I just really like enjoy the music going through my body. This is just my personal way of like finding trust, because I need to bring joy into my body first because joy is such a high vibration. And then I'm like, fuck, you're just such an amazing person. Like you're actually an amazing person. And I actually really look at my heart space when I'm really saying this to myself. And I really look at myself in full gratitude for who I am and what I've uncovered and who I've become in these 33 years. And that brings joy into my heart. It brings love into my heart from myself. Like self-love is such a high vibration to be in. When you truly love yourself, you also trust yourself and you also allow others to love you at the same level and the same capacity. And if you don't love yourself and you don't bring that joy in yourself, other people can't really love you to the expectation of what you've got either. And which is where we can kind of have these unwritten expectations around love and these unwritten things that we want to come into our world from external people to validate that. And to find self-trust is actually all around finding self-love as well. So however that comes into your body at the highest vibration. And for me, like, yeah, a good playlist and a good soundtrack. And also like in that moment, I usually have a bit of a drop in. So sometimes my drop ins aren't like breath work and really slow stuff. Like sometimes I'll just be dancing and my daughter will hear the music and then she'll come in and that brings me joy because it brings my inner child into the medicine. And yeah, I'm just like, fuck, I just love life. Like I actually genuinely love life. And not because I have, you know, millions of dollars in the bank and because I've got like this mansion that I own or the best car. Like actually it's not what my joy is. And like my joy is my connections, my love around me and my self-love. And so that helps me to cultivate a deep knowing of like, I've got this because I know what I'm doing this for. And I think as well, so many people, like on this, I am kind of diverting, but so many people, spirits just told me to share this with you. And so many people in their magical scripts and their things, right? They keep it so surface level. I want the big house and I want the view of the beach, and I'm going to build this house and it's going to be amazing. I'm going to have like this, all black Defender and it's going to be fucking sick and all the things, right? It's like all materialistic. And when we actually get real, like, is that actually what you want? Like, would that bring you joy? If I stripped everything back and gave you a mansion on the beach with a fucking black Defender, would that give you joy? Because that actually makes me feel a bit sick. Like when I really sit with that, I'm like, no. It's what the movies say give us joy. It's not my joy. And this is what else I sat in this year. I actually like brought myself to a real moment of like, fuck, this is really here for me. I was like, what brings me joy is what I'm doing right now, is showing up and helping other women to see how beautiful they are, to peel back the layers, to hold space for women. Doing Reiki is like my fucking heart-led work. I love it. I also love teaching Pilates because it empowers women to feel beautiful just in whatever shape they are. And those two things bring me so much joy, also with my family and connecting with humans and going out for beautiful meals and, laughing. Laughter brings me the most joy in life. That's if I was laying in my coffin and I was that's it, right? So when I got really real with what I actually wanted to cultivate through this business, it actually is so much more. I want a retreat center. I want my own retreat center that does not cost anything to come to, that I can hold space whenever I fucking desire and invite any woman that cannot afford or cannot invest in this work, that wants to be held, any single mother that needs support, any child that needs support, any little girl that's been abused as a child sexually. I want to be able to hold her. I want to have the space. The reason I want space, the reason I want money is not because I want things. It's because I want space to do my heart-led work. It's because I know that I went through things when I was a child, and I know what I can do to support other little girls and what I can do to support women who are raising little girls, raising little boys, and raising our next generation. That's how deep my vision is. So every time that I want to close out 6A2 or I want to close out -2, the universe knows that this is not about my mansion and my Defender and my beach view. The universe knows that the greater good of what I'm actually doing is actually going to serve humanity. And if you haven't yet got to what you're actually going to do with all this money you're calling in, you're also not giving it a home and a place of like what's going to be your bigger vision. And it doesn't have to be that, right? Like this is just what I got really real with and what brought me to tears of like, this is actually genuinely what I want. I want to hold that space. I want to invite families into that space. I want to create that. But whatever it is that brings you so much joy, like even like Lucy, I know she's got such a beautiful passion in her industry. And I know there's something there that she'll birth. And so when that comes into the magical script and when that's a part of it, all of a sudden your vision gets so much bigger than you. Your vision becomes so much bigger and you become this speck that's like in the universe that's like going to fucking go out there and change the world. Not because you're going to be wealthy and have like big bank and everything on the credit card, because you're going to be wealthy from your heart. Like you're actually going to make this world a better place. And I know that what we have in Twerk, I know that everyone has a heart like that. And I know that people are here to do really big things. I just don't yet think that everyone's really got to that place. And I don't yet think that everyone's got in the arena of that courageous action and the vulnerability. And I think that that's two things tonight of like courageous action, vulnerability of shedding your layers and really getting real with what you're doing here, like expanding that. Because even if you think your magical script's expanded, sometimes we are just living in the movie land of like what we think we want. And I just want you to really think about, if I just gave that to you of what's in your magical script right now, how does that really feel in your body? Would you wake up just being so happy? Like, would you wake up and just be like, fuck, I'm so like, if I went today, like if I left this planet, my fucking legacy and what I've done here, I'd be so happy for everyone to be at my funeral and listen to everything that everyone is going to say, because I know I left my heart there. I left my heart on this planet. Not like I left my house and my car. Like it's all, we're stuck in this 3D world as humans, but actually we are just so much more than that. So just try and connect to your deeper why, because I promise you it'll really help you show up. Like having nice bags and cars and things and paintings on the wall and the new next drink bottle that we want to buy and all the things. It's not actually the end goal. It's just not, you know. And for some reason I needed to share that with you tonight. It was like a real drop in. And yeah, you know, do you ever just like sit there and just like look around? And I don't know, Tiff, you might be able to resonate because I know you're a nature girl, but like sometimes going out into nature and actually just looking at like how big this world is and like what's actually here and really taking in nature and being like, we are all such a small part of this world, you know, like we are all such this, you know, we just take up this tiny little bit of space of the whole fucking universe. And yet we're all like calling in the car from Range Rover, you know, or the house that we've driven past that like looks like that would be fun to hold a party at. And it's like, I just don't, it's just like when you go deeper, guys, like it's so beautiful to really feel what it would feel like to wake up with your magical script should be like, I wake up and I connect with my partner and he really holds me and he feels, you know, makes me feel so beautiful. And my kids come in and they just, you know, love me and love me being their mom. And, you know, that's what lights my soul up, you know, like women literally have had their lives change because I've gifted them space and I'm more than happy to be there and hold that space for them because it actually makes my life richer, collaborating and being around other beautiful humans and all of that and knowing that like when I'm not here one day that I've impacted all of these lives, that means way more to me than anything materialistic. And I think that it would for so many of you as well. And so I just really encourage you to just put this deeper level into what you're creating because the universe will always drop in what you need when it supports more greater good. And I always say money in the hands of good people does good things in the world. And I really think that we're changing that. And there's a lot of people out there that don't have that heart, that are doing not so good things with money. And you get to be what changes that because when you're making $100,000, $500,000 a month, you know, $1 million every 2 months, whatever you're doing, it's like, you don't need all that money. You're going to have it, but like give it a home to go to in 5 years' time when you've got it. Give it a little home to be like, this is what I'm really going to create, because otherwise you'll cap yourself on what's going to support the car, the dream house, the things that you say you want. And yeah, I just think that we really need to get real on what we're actually doing here. It's like really changing the path and the generational patterns. That was a real branch off, but yeah. Mm-hmm. Or the caravan too. Yeah, the caravan. Absolutely. And like, you know, I'm not saying don't put the materialistic things. Like, I mean, I have a couch there that I use once a week. It's, you know, from Freedom because I think I need it. I get it. We're all living in the human experience. We all do the things. I love nice things. And also just don't forget the real deep stuff, you know, just hand in hand. Because I'm not saying that I'm not going to go buy all the things because I do love things, but yeah, just don't lose sight of what would really make you feel really happy. I'm just reading the chat. My projector vibes can't do the two things at once. I'm thinking about the deeper reasons. Yeah, so good. And even keeping what you've got and potentially just altering and bringing in something really deep for you. And, you know, usually it's something, something that you have either been through and you want to help someone because it's your journey, or it's maybe something that you've learned along your journey so far in an attic and you're like, oh, I really want that for others, or you want to go and help little kids in Africa, or you want to, like, I don't know, there's so many things in the world that could be done to help and support people. But it's really needed. And I think that that's what the universe is going to keep rewarding, is like the greater good of love all around, not just what we want for ourselves. And and the power of giving back, you know, I will always give and put out to anyone that I possibly can, especially in times of need. And when I know that people are struggling, like, I'll always gift anything that I possibly can, because I know the power of giving is always how we receive. So just really trusting in that as well, that when you give someone something, it will always come back. All right, my love. All right. How's everyone feeling about laying down? Do we or you can sit up, it's up to you. You don't have to lay down, but if you do want to get yourself cozy and comfy, please feel free to. I'm going to share some music and open up the space and and start some energy healing. If anyone hasn't had any energy healing before and doesn't know what to expect, some things can be tingling and sensations in the hands or the feet. Know that this is just energy moving through the body, and it's all good. And then also you can get the feeling of needing to move around sometimes. Again, just your body's, this is intuition of like knowing that you need to move those hips or anything. Feel free to do anything you need. If you need to get up and go to the bathroom, you're not stuck here. You'll still receive what you need. If you do fall asleep, it's absolutely okay. You can just stay asleep. It's no dramas. It's obviously what your body needs. Yeah. And then sometimes you'll have these really profound moments of like what's coming through for you and what's there for you. And that's okay as well. And know and trust that over the next 24 to 48 hours, if you need any support or any help with anything that's coming through, just, send me a message and I'm more than happy to help with that integration. However, I can't. Oh, sorry, Luce. I need you to get back up. I can't share my music. I just need to be host, I think, for a seckie. Sorry, my love. Thank you. Okay. Well, let me share this and just if someone can tell me, is that a good level and still can hear my voice? Or too loud, too soft? Go down a bit. Oh, up there. Or more up.
Can't hear the music
Yeah, we can't hear the music.
at all.
At all.
Okay.
I've shared it.
Oh, there we go.
There we go.
Stop laughing at me. She's like, no. I'm like, is that too loud or is that good? Good. Okay. Amazing. Yes, I love you. So good. All right. Just laying down, allowing yourself to get comfortable. And allowing yourself to just ground into the space that we're in. Knowing and trusting that your angels and guides are here to support you. Closing down the eye gaze and starting to find a nice big deep breath, inhaling it through the nose, filling up the belly with air, and then exhaling and releasing out the mouth. Beautiful. You might like to bring one hand to the heart, one hand to the belly, or just lay them by your side. And as I open up the energy field and open up the container, I just want you to notice this beautiful bright white light coming in through the soles of your feet, traveling all the way up your legs and into your womb space. This beautiful bright white light filling up your sacral and your solar plexus below your cross chart, coming up into the heart space where it's illuminating even brighter, and coming up into the throat chakra, opening the throat chakra and heading up to our third eye in between our eyes, and bringing it all the way up to our crown and allowing yourself to connect to your higher self. Knowing and trusting that you will receive whatever it is that you need tonight, and putting no expectation around what needs to be here. And moving through the collective energy, allowing yourself to find a natural rhythm of the breath as I move through the energy flow.
creating concrete visions of a macrocosmic prism with a brilliant optimism and appropriate ambition to be open from the center, redirected to the moment. This is it, love, this is it, love, unrestrainable nature. We can change it from the edges, we can challenge all our borders. There is always a new leader, there's always a new order. Our pathway is proceeding and the way is always changing. We are free from what prevents us to realize our destination. Oh, 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 free from all old stories I've been told. I walk through the valley of my own shadow. Free from all old stories I've been told. I walk through the valley of my own shadow. We are free. Awareness is my virtue, and I'm grateful for the search to dive deep within my own mind and to trust the intuition of the lives I've lived before this. Our essential form of gnosis, it's a simple form of freedom, smooth as inhalation, and the exhale is releasing all the tension I've been feeling on the surface and beneath me. I'm connecting to my spirit, and I'm here now right before you, present in this moment, and our life's work is to honor the beauty all around you. Oh, 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 free from all old stories I've been told. I walk through the valley of my own shadow. Free from all old stories I've been told. I walk through the valley of my own shadow. Free from all old stories I've been told. I walk through the valley of my own shadow.
I don't see the sunlight, if I don't hear the rain, come watch me when I burn away. If I don't see the sunlight, if I don't hear the rain, come watch me when I burn away. Gently sit, holding the door, waiting for something to break down the floor, crying to someone, but I never felt that I wasn't needed, that kind of help. There goes the light shining your way. Pick up the pieces, mistakes that you made. If I don't see the sunlight, if I don't hear the rain, come watch me when I burn away. If I don't see the sunlight, if I don't hear the rain, come watch me when I burn away. There goes the light shining your way. Pick up the pieces, mistakes that you made. Now it's your fight, so make sure you stay. Leave out the weakness that somehow you made. If I don't see the sun, if I don't hear the rain, come watch me when I burn away. If I don't see the sun, if I don't hear the rain, come watch me when I burn away. If I don't see the sun, if I don't hear the rain, come watch me when I burn away. If I don't see the sun, if I don't hear the rain, come watch me when I burn. If I don't see the sun, if I don't hear the rain, come watch me when I burn away. If I don't see the sunlight, no, if I don't hear the rain, come watch me when I burn away. If I don't see the sun, if I don't hear the rain, come watch me when I burn away. If I don't see the sun, if I don't hear the rain, come watch me when I burn away.
Beautiful. And starting to bring some awareness back into the body, allowing yourself to go really slow here as I work through the auric field. And allow yourself to have any movements that might serve you. Stretch up overhead, maybe turn to the side, maybe give yourself a cuddle if anything comes through. No rush. Better to stay with blood, that's feel cool and back to yourself. Once done.
Satyamai
Okay, my love. I'm going to stop that music. You can stay where you are. I do have just some wisdom to bring to you, the messages and some things that came through. I'm surprised my end, and this card just flew out of the pack as I picked it all for you. I'll send it all over to Lucy so that you can share it in the team. The card that just flew out as a collective energy was Inner Wisdom, which doesn't even surprise me, from the feminine deck. And this is, you know what to do. Trust your inner wisdom, take appropriate action without delay. A lot of the collection energy that I was working with was to do with really building this queen up. Like it was this energy of like feeling really crumbled from 2024. And I don't know if that resonates for all or some, but it was definitely there. So definitely present. And what I was working with was actually building the solid foundations and working in grounding energy. So a lot in the root chakra, a lot of grounding for everyone. And really, once I anchored that in, I just felt this beautiful, like queen vibe coming on, and just really solid in who you are was a really big message of like, this is your key message for 2025 is be solid in who you are. Don't lose sight of who you are. Don't go off track to follow what someone else is doing. Be in your own lane, be you, show up as you, and trust your inner knowing of what you're here to do. And there was some crumbling that was like, just needed really like, almost like this rubble that I just wanted to like get in there and just like move it all out the way, because it actually doesn't belong with you in 2025. And so using that rubble, and rather than getting it out, I really brought it in to actually build you up, because I want you to bring those lessons, that value of what that rubble has been, and not shy away from that needs to be part of your story in a negative way. I really want you to lean into it as like, all of last year was so powerful. I have so much gratitude for all of the lessons that are there, and I'm so ready to dive in this year and be in the arena and hold myself even when I'm shaking, and hold myself even when I'm not in full trust in the three-dimensional world that I'm in right now, but I'm in full trust in my heart. You know, just really like allowing yourself to be in that space of like, I've got this, and I can do this, and I can go 6A2-3 whatever you're trying to call in, because anything is possible when you believe it. Anything can be done when you believe in yourself and when you trust your intuition. If you don't feel connected with your intuition, spend more time with yourself, with finding pleasure, and bring it back to those basics of what this gets to be. This message is really like to assure you that you have so much wisdom that is here to be shared, and there's like so much throat activation tonight around you actually trusting that you can activate this and share this and pull and extract lessons from everything that you are going through. There should be a lesson from you here tonight that you can extract for content tomorrow. There should be a lesson if you go and watch the Brené Brown thing that I've suggested. There's a lesson there, extract it. Go and listen to the Secrets of a Millionaire Mind on Audible while you're walking tomorrow. Extract the lesson, extract it, sit with it, integrate it for what it means for you, and then share your wisdom, take away from it. Tiff does this a lot. It's what I do in my content. It's literally how I build my brand, is what I learn, how I integrate, and then I share. You don't have to overcomplicate being like some magician to make this business work. You don't need to dive into every course or go and pay all these people. You actually need to trust that you have this, and that everything that you've got available to you right now is actually what's going to get you there. And that was a really big message for you. So I'm going to send this card so you can all just read it in your own time. I'm mindful that I've taken a little bit more of your time tonight, so thank you for having me a little bit overboard. Don't take this work lightly. I feel like we're going there. And yeah, just like a really beautiful energy at the end. I could really see you all really shining and just feeling really built up is kind of the word. It just felt like we're really just working on building up this confidence within me as a collective. And I really want you guys to really support each other this year, and know that when you collaborate in like a really beautiful team energy of like, I've got you and you've got me and I've got myself, that is a really powerful force to be reckoned with. So keep cultivating that in your little pod. Get in there and back each other and call it the 6A Leaders Pod and change the name and give it fresh energy. And, you know, like when you're in a pod that's called the 6A Leaders Pod 2025, like that's really cool. So if it's not inspiring you to go to the next level, then create it to inspire you to go there, you know, and bring in the fresh energy. And, you know, you guys get to cultivate this beautiful collective energy, and you all get to go out there and go 4A this month, go 5A this month, go 6A this month, go 6A2 in a day, like do what you got to do, and trust that you've got all that you need inside you.
Thanks, Megs. That was beautiful.
Welcome.
So yeah, I just want to say thank you if everyone wants to come off, and I know, you know, conscious of time. And yeah, pardon?
I'll take that. That was me.
Oh no, that's okay. I wouldn't have wanted to be anywhere else, let's be honest.
Spirit was like, boom, and I'm like, oh fuck, Spirit, we're running out of time here, Justin. But okay. So we went there. So that was me as well. So thank you for running over with me. Thanks for being in the space. Also, I'm an hour behind a lot of you. So I'm like, we're still 10 to 9. So sorry for the 10 to 10ers. Gotta come to Queensland.
Wonderful. All right. Well,
thank you, Megan. That was
yeah.
beautiful. I loved that.
You're welcome. If anything comes through, just send me a message. But yeah, nice warm shower, heat pack, like anything that feels really nurturing after Reiki is really beautiful. If you get hungry, go and eat. Just listen to your body. She'll tell you what you need.
Beautiful. All right, girls. Well, thank you so much. I will put the recording into our pod at once it downloads and does all the things. But thank you so much for being here. Love to you all. Oh, yes.
The recording as well. Like if you ever feel like you just need to gift yourself this space, all that is always held in these containers. So press play, give yourself that 20 minutes, go within, like receive the magic, and yeah, it's a beautiful gift that keeps giving. Use your hands to support what you feel coming. It's a really beautiful to do for yourself.
Wonderful.
Okay.
All right, bye. Oh.